So Travis, well done directing Bumble Bee and great storytelling, by the way. You've done great. What was your
Thanks.
most enjoyable moments with Bumble Bee?
You know, this was an interesting process, something I've never done before, having worked in animation for 20 years. When you imbue an inanimate object with life, when you bring something to life that doesn't have any of its own, where it has a sense of character and personality, and people respond to it authentically as if it's in a living, emotional creature, that's always really satisfying. So there was that aspect of this movie because, you know, Bumblebee, he's a computer-generated character, and so when people see him as real, that's I think that is I'm incredibly proud of that. But at the same time, there's the other aspect of it, which is the live-action element, and when you have an actor like Haley Steinfeld, who just taps into this incredible wealth of emotion and brings that to the surface in a real and authentic way, and moves you to tears. And then you blend those two things together, something that's been created in a computer and a beautiful performance from an extraordinary actor. To me, those are the magical moments. That's when the film sparkles. And you plan these things, you're incredibly disciplined about how you go forward, but then it really just takes a moment of beauty and magic and honesty, and that's when things really sing.
Because the relationship between them was really strong as well from the moment they met, when he was, like Bumblebee was scared, and then obviously she was just like there in the moment with him. And obviously being an animator, like obviously you could see Bumblebee while you was directing, I'm assuming, in your head.
Right.
What was how did that feel, the experience of telling Bumblebee's story as well? Because he's a very popular character in Transformers. So how did it feel actually telling his story and having that responsibility to do that as well?
Bumblebee is a beloved figure, and he's always been the one Transformer who's had the greatest and deepest connection with people, the greatest affinity for humanity. And I thought that was a fascinating aspect of his character, and on this film I really wanted to explore why that is. What is it about him? What is it about us that forges that connection? And this was an opportunity to really get in there. It's an origin story, so we get to know things about Bumblebee that we didn't know before, and it really comes down to a relationship. It's a humanist story. It's a story about connection, and so those to me are the kinds of stories that stick to your ribs. Those are the kind of films that I loved growing up, and that's the story that I wanted to tell here.
You really added this classic 80s feel to the movie, even with the score of the film. I was just buzzing. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. What was your biggest influence in that? Was you born in the 80s?
I came of age in the 80s. I was born in the 70s, but I was a child in the 80s, and so all those reference points, those were the aspects of my childhood. So we because the Transformers were born in the mid 80s, we wanted to, and because we were telling an origin story about a Transformer, it made sense to set it in the era where they were born. And so, fusing that with, all the things that were happening in the era and the culture at that time, the way films were made, the way they were shot, the lenses that were used, the music that was being composed, the music that was on the radio, the fashion, the designs, to blend all those things into the story. On some level that's window dressing, but on another level it's kind of baked into the filmmaking. Yeah. We wanted to treat this film as if it was shot in 1987. And we still have a bunch of great modern tools and tricks and technology that we can add to it to make the film really exciting. But we treated it essentially as if we were shooting it in 1987.
And you achieved that very well. You've done amazing.
Can I help you? You have a family? Oh, who would be?
They're calling an army.
I've seen firsthand, these things really are.
Bumblebee, there is only one way to end this war. You must protect Earth and its people.
Take it down!
My back, me! This is how we stop them. You've got me. And I'm not going anywhere.